And we're going to start in a Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining butterfly. So if you have the two blocks, you'll put them under your knees with the soles of your feet together, and then you'll slowly lower yourself down to lying down. And so just taking a moment to get yourself set up. If you happen to have more blocks, I'm guessing most people only have two at home, you could actually also do reclining fish, if supported fish, if that feels good to you. Both of them restorative healing poses. So you'll be lying down like this with your head on the blocks and or blocks under your knees. You can decide where your blocks are happiest. And if you have no blocks, just lie down with knees apart and bring one hand to heart and one hand to belly. And we'll begin there, coming back to your breath. And taking a moment on this special Sunday morning class after a holiday week and family and friends and different things happening, to come back to yourself. And the theme of today's class is going to be about that theme that, if any of you saw what I wrote yesterday about families and complicated dynamics and complicated emotions, and just a chance here to find grace in your humanness and reconnect with that sense of peace within. And as such, that's the invitation in starting with reclining butterfly and or supported fish. Those poses are ones of restoration and refilling, coming back to yourself and allowing yourself grace and compassion for being human and for all of those emotions that come with being human and loving other humans. And what I find along this journey of being human and loving other humans is that giving yourself time to allow the emotions and just soak in them and let them all be, the good ones and the bad ones, and the love and the frustration and the disappointment and the sadness and the hope, and all of it mixed together. That is where everything softens. And you can begin to move forward peacefully in your humanness. When you stop resisting and instead allow. And allowing and finding peace is what came to mind this morning. Not accepting, but allowing, and just allowing yourself to be human. Those you love to be human, and all of us to be in our different phases of this human life. Allowing, appreciating, and having grace and compassion for each and everyone's journey, whether you happen to be taking this class together or sharing a life or a home or a family even afar together. Grace, peace, compassion, knowing that this human journey together and apart is fraught and amazing all at the same time. So connecting with intention to your heart space. And just sending it that grace and compassion. Letting it feel whatever it feels this morning. And with intention, letting it refill fully. Allowing your breath to be soft and easeful. And literally allowing the breath to refill and go to every tender nook and cranny that you may have within. Bathing it with breath and kindness and grace. Inviting peace. Exploring the idea that all these emotions can coexist simultaneously. And that is the beauty and fun of this human journey. And if you are up on the blocks in any way, shape, or form, taking the blocks out from underneath you and just allowing yourself to lie flat with your knees bent for a moment and let your body, however it is this morning, sink into the floor. And notice what's happening with your body. I spent 8 hours in the car yesterday and then went for a 2-hour walk on the beach, and I'm noticing my body today. And so just notice with kindness whatever information your body's sending you. And draw your knees into your chest, bring your hands to your shins, and have a nice rock massage your sacrum all the way to each edge. And you'll bring the soles of your feet into your hands, coming into happy baby. Soles of the feet towards the sky, and just have another lovely rock here. Massage your lower back. Enjoy the openness in the groin pelvic region. Press your knees to the floor, remembering to breathe. And using this perhaps as a chance to massage out some of those tightness feelings, anything you're carrying, giving it a nice massage. And you'll bring the soles of your feet together once again. Press your heels into the floor, in towards the groin, and just enjoy the opening in the groin area once again. Send the breath down into your root and the base of your spine. That's the area we carry so much emotion. Breathing in through your nose, all the way down into the root chakra. And exhaling, letting it out. And you'll lower your feet to the floor, letting the soles of your feet land on the earth. Your knees will come back together. Hug your right knee in towards your chest as tight, tight, tight as you can, releasing that right hip. And extend the left leg long in front and enjoy the front of the left hip flexor. Hug that right knee in. Huge breath in. And exhale, let the right leg fall into the hip socket and enjoy for a moment. Big breath in once again into that hip socket. And exhale, let it out. Bring your hands to the back of your thigh and extend your right leg towards the sky. Point your toe to begin. Press your hamstring into your hands. They're clasped behind the right hamstring. And enjoy that tight release sensation. And flex your toes towards your nose and enjoy the back of your leg. And do what works for you. If anything offered in class today doesn't work, just opt out. Learning what works for your body is a huge part of yoga. And on any given day, it might be different. Point your toe to the sky and flex your ankle. Toes will come towards your knee. Huge cleansing breath in and out. Relax your leg a wee bit and roll the ankle to the right. 3 big mixing bowl circles. And then in the opposite direction, enjoying every little spot of tenderness or tightness that you find. Noticing that as you move through it, it relaxes and opens up. And you'll bring your knee into your chest again. And you're going to bring the sole of your foot to the inner thigh and your knee out to the right. And allow your sacrum to land on the earth and just notice how you feel here for a moment. Probably a little lopsided. Your left hip is going to lift up. And you can bring your arms up into a cactus shape. Untuck your scapula if they are tight and just allow yourself to soften in once again. Huge breath into your belly. letting your belly expand full with the breath. And exhale, letting it out, letting things shift and move. One more big breath in, all the way down deep into the belly, filling your belly up with breath. And exhaling, release, let the belly button sink towards your spine. You'll bring your left hand towards your right knee and bring your right knee straight up to the sky. Grab the outer edge of the right thigh and gently roll over towards the left side, just easily, not very far, bringing your right hand down by your left hip, reaching it long. Just an easy twist to begin here. Being kind to your back. If it feels good, gaze to the right. One more breath here. Rolling back to center. You'll lower the sole of your foot and lower that right leg alongside the left and just take a pause to rearrange, notice, set yourself up, taking good care of your sacrum and your scapula. And when you feel ready, you can bend both knees, bring the left knee in, tugging it in towards your chest, squeezing it tight. Huge inhale, still fill the belly with the inhale. Exhale, release, and let the hip fall laterally. Extend your right leg long if that feels good to the front of your hip. And enjoy that release. Huge breaths in, bathing every nook and cranny of tightness and or tenderness, letting those emotions flow here. If you let them move as you flow, they will shift. Be honored. And integrate into yourselves, but in a kind, loving, graceful, peaceful way. Breathing in, giving that knee a hug once again. Exhale, extend the left leg towards the sky, point your toe, press your hamstring into your hands, and enjoy the sensations. Flex the ankle, toes towards your nose. Point once again. And flex it towards you once again. And then roll the ankle 3 times in one direction, nourishing every nook and cranny of the ankle and the shin, and allowing the pockets of tightness, noticing they soften when you allow and just roll into it. Bend your left knee in towards you. You'll lower your left foot towards the earth. Sole of the foot's going to come to the right inner thigh and letting your hips fall open. Take a moment here to notice your back and your psoas and whatever else is going on there today. Sending it some love and kindness. Reaching your arms up above and taking those big, full belly breaths, filling your belly with breath. And exhaling, allowing all that is to be, all those people you love to be, perhaps floating back to wherever they joined you from. Or perhaps you didn't see them at all, and letting that be. And letting yourself be, however you showed up or struggled or didn't. Letting that also just be. And you'll draw your left knee up towards the sky, rolling over onto the left hip, coming into a slight twist. You can bring your hand to the left thigh and leave your right hand up in a cactus or down by your side. Do what feels kind to your back. Everyone's back is going to be a little bit different, and it's just an easy twist as we begin. Breathing here. Exhale, let it out. You want to gaze to the left, do that. And notice if you want to stretch one leg long, letting it be a little more flowy, not having to hold anything tight. And when you feel complete, rolling back onto your sacrum, bending both knees, Reorganizing your hips, press your palms to the floor, reorganize your shoulders too, taking time to set yourself up for success. You'll bring your heels towards your fingertips, palms will be on the earth, and you'll lift up into a bridge pose, undoing any tightness in your back. Reaching your hips as high as you can towards the sky. Shimmy your shoulders underneath you and have a little wiggle, reaching high, 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 engaging your glutes, knees connect together. You may even want to lift up onto your tiptoes and notice how that feels, and lower down. Notice how that feels. Undo your shoulders, rolling down like pearls on a string, vertebrae by vertebrae, taking your time until you land on the earth. Untuck your shoulders once again. Hug your knees into your chest, massage your back, release it. And you'll roll to one side, whichever one feels good, pressing up to a seat. And we'll flip over onto our hands and knees. If you need a blanket for your knees, to be kind, do that. And knees will be hips width, tops of the feet light on the floor, and checking out your hands, equal pie shapes between each finger. Inhale, arch your belly and gaze towards the front into a cow pose, bathing the front of the belly and the lower back, any tightness there. Exhale, round into the fullest cat, drop your head and neck and enjoy every little muscle fiber in the back, even if it's calling out. Inhale once again into cow pose. Crown of the head's going to reach to the sky. Enjoy the front of the belly. And exhale, round. Suck your navel all the way up towards the sky. Drop your head and neck. We'll come back to tabletop. Sink into child's pose. You can either have knees together and extend your fingers long, or you can open knees apart. Notice what feels good for your belly today. And allow your forehead to fall towards the earth, connecting into the earth and taking a pause here. Once again, just appreciating your humanness, including all of those tender feelings, the angry feelings, the disappointed ones, the sad ones, the happy ones, those loving moments, letting them all be in a bit of a soup, but perhaps the most delicious soup. Delicious soup actually always has onions and garlic in it too. Breathing in fully, nourishing every nook and cranny of the back as you're stretched here. And exhale fully, letting things go on the exhale, releasing any tension. One more big breath in and out. We will lift it back up to hands and knees and sliding forward into Sphinx pose to be kind to your lower back. You'll untuck your knees, you'll untuck your toes, tops of the feet lightly on the earth, elbows directly under your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide, pie shapes, and gaze forward. Bathe the whole back side of your body with breath here. Heart is shining forward. Crown of the head is reaching forward. Huge breaths here, pouring them all the way down into the front of the hips and the front of the belly and the lower back. One big breath here again. Exhale, release. Curling your toes, coming back into child's pose. Do the opposite child's pose you did. So knees apart if they were together, or together if they were apart. Release the lower back with kindness. 2 breaths. Coming back up to hands and knees. Walk your hands forward, a handprint, curl your toes and lift up to downward dog. Widen your feet if they need that today. Notice what your body needs today. Have a walk the dog. Perhaps wag your hips side to side. And when you feel good with that, come to stillness. Press into your hands, reach your hips high as you can, the apex, and lower your forehead towards the floor, shaking out your head. Yes and no, releasing tension there. Huge breaths. Moving your feet back a little bit, we're going to shift forward into plank and pause here, top of the push-up. Noticing the tension and the energy and the arms working. Drop your heels to the right and lift your right arm up, coming into side plank and enjoying it for a moment. Stretching. Reach your arm up towards the sky and over your ear if that feels good. Reaching your hand towards the sky once again, dropping it into the left hip crease if that works for your body, and gaze upward. Reach your hand to the sky once again and coming back to plank in the center and pause here. If that doesn't work for you, you can stay in plank. You can go back to downward dog, either one. And you'll drop your heels to the left, reach your left hand, drop your heels to the right, left hand to the sky, coming into side plank on this side. Try the same arm variations over your ear, reaching to the sky, hooking it into the hip crease and gazing upwards. And come back to plank once again. Shifting forward onto your tiptoes, curl your toes, untuck your feet, and lower down chaturanga to the floor. Lifting up for low cobra. Lowering down. Curl your toes, pressing into your hands, and coming up to downward dog again. And pause here. Anyone who's catching up here can meet us here as well. Finding your palms, your fingers, being kind to your wrists. We're going to ground into the right ball of the foot, raise the left leg to the sky, bend your knee and open your hip, roll your ankles in either direction. Undoing the kinks and the tightness and anything that you're holding. Sending the breath into the hips. We hold tons of stuff in our hips. Re-squaring your hips. Press the left heel towards the back wall, three-legged dog. Huge breath in. And gently bring your knee towards your nose and place your foot between your hands. Wiggle the left toes farther forward. Drop your back knee. Come into Anjaneyasana or low lunge. Some of you will want to use blocks here. Some of you will come up to your thigh. Don't hurry to get to the top. And when you feel good, raise your hands to the sky. A lot of blazing sun going on in my bedroom this morning, which is kind of fun. It's turning me into a black spot. So hopefully that's better. Huge breath into the right hip here. Be really kind to that right knee, wiggling it backwards. Arms are towards the sky if that works for you. Huge breath in, stretch long and tall, pouring that breath in all the pockets where you hold old stuff, inviting them to soften, perhaps even slight arch back. Exhale, lower your hands to the inside of the left foot. You'll wiggle your left foot towards the side, coming into a lizard pose for a moment. Rolling that left knee outwards onto the outer left edge of the left foot. Some of you will enjoy bending your back knee. Some of your knees will not enjoy that. Some of you might be able to grab it with your left hand. Notice what feels good to you. Some of you may want to curl your back toes and lift up into a lizard here. Notice how that feels. Every body is different. Enjoying the one you've got. Lowering that back knee, you'll bring your left hand to the outer edge of the left foot, walking it back to center. Curl your back toe, coming into a high lunge. Drop the right heel to the left. Cartwheel open to warrior two. Sinking into that front knee, and notice your feet if they need any realignment. Notice your shoulders. Gaze is drishti over the left middle finger. Notice this back hand, if it drops, lift it up. Huge breath in. And as you breathe out, sink in a little bit more. Another big deep breath in. Exhale, slide your right hand down your right thigh, coming into reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. This is one of my favorite poses. That's why we do it so much. Fan open those ribs in the front. Breathing into it, sliding that right arm down the right leg. Huge breath in. Exhale, cartwheel back to warrior two and pause here. Straight that front knee. You'll come into Trikonasana or triangle pose. You're going to shoot your right hips back and your left hand as far, 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 far forward as you can before you drop. And if you have a block, use that. Some days we need a block, some days we don't. So notice what your body needs today to enjoy triangle pose. And if you happen to not have a block, I was doing yoga with my old yoga teacher this week in San Diego. You can use a couch arm, you can use a pillow, you can use a book, you can use a coffee table. So find what works wherever you happen to be today. Gazing up at the right hand, rolling open your chest a tiny bit more. Engaging your legs fully. Noticing your toes on the earth, the balls of the feet on the earth. Tucking that right hip back and engaging the left thigh. We're going to come into half moon because it's also one of my favorite poses. Some of you will want to opt out. You can use a block or a couch arm. Works great for this. If you want to just stay here in triangle, do that, and perhaps bring your right hand into your left hip crease to open the shoulder and give it a rest. For those who want to do half moon, you'll bend your left knee, pick up the block, or set yourself up to lean onto the couch. I happen to have a ledge in my bedroom, so you can also do that. You can reach your right hand up. If you have a wall, you can also melt into the wall. It feels absolutely amazing. So a couple of breaths here, enjoying half moon, even though it's actually the most beautiful full moon right now. We'll honor the moon anyway. And when you feel complete, come back to Trikonasana or triangle pose. Finding that pose again before you switch. And you're going to lower both hands to the inside of that left foot. Pop your right foot back a tiny bit, facing the toes forward, coming into pyramid pose. Keeping your block if you want, if you have it. It can be a long pyramid or a short pyramid. Notice what feels best to your body and your back today. If you have a block and you want to keep your back flat, you can also do that. And I'm going to invite anyone who wants to do revolve triangle to do that. You can take a block or not and bring your right hand towards the left foot. Twist your left hand towards the sky. It's a bit intense. You'll roll that left wrist out and just notice. And notice how you hold your breath all of a sudden. So come back to the breath here. Lowering the left hand to the floor. Another moment in pyramid if you are there. And we'll hop the back foot forward alongside the front, coming into a forward fold. Widen your feet, bend your knees, and sag your rear end down. Bring your hands to your elbows and hang and release for a moment, even do a bit of a sway in all directions. Shifting off your toes into the backs of your heels and your feet, balls of your feet. Coming back to center, and take a moment to find your center again as we move forward into the next week and what we call the holiday season. Find your center, a very human center, perhaps even noticing upside down
Anywhere are tender spots that need more attention. Sending the breath there, lower your hands, and we'll roll up inch by inch by inch by inch,
unrolling and stacking your vertebrae until you come up to stand. And take a moment here. Let that blood flow, align, pour in. Come back to the breath and just notice, gifting yourself a moment to notice. Notice your feet on the earth, lifting up all 10 toes. Notice the four corners, lower them down. Engage your shins, your kneecaps, your thighs. Engage your belly. Tuck your hips and stack your spine all the way up towards the neck. Heart will feel light. Reach the crown of your head to the sky, palms open towards the front. Tadasana or mountain pose. Noticing that strength of mountain within you, that sense of safety and groundedness that's always there, should we choose to attend to it. Perhaps an invitation to find it once a day here in this upcoming holiday period, or reconnect to it if you've had a swirly week. Huge breath in and flushing it out. Open your eyes if they're closed. We're going to reach our arms out and up towards the sky, bringing your index fingers into a steeple, clasping your other fingers and reaching long and tall towards the sky. As tall as you can. Shimmy your side bodies. Inhale and stretch. Tall, tall, tall. Exhale, we're going to tip to the right, doing a crescent moon, honoring the moon in its full state. There is no full moon pose. Inhale once again. Press the fingers to the right. Enjoy your whole left side body, rooting all the way down into the earth, and from the earth, drawing the energy up through your leg, through your hips, through your side body, through your armpits, all the way into the left finger, pressing into the right finger. One more big, nourishing, cleansing breath, stretching even a little further, using your belly to take good care of your back. Exhale, release, and let go. Engaging your belly and your center, coming back to center. Inhale, stretch tall in the center. Reorganize your spine. Exhale, release, continue to reach tall here for a moment. Inhale, release, tall, tall, tall again, as tall as you can. Exhale, tip to the left and stretch and enjoy every nook and cranny of the right side body. Let it feel delicious. Exhaling, stretching those fingers long, enjoying fully. Coming back to center. Open your arms out to the side walls. Palms will face the wall, wrists will be flexed. Press into the side walls. Pinch your scapula together, tight, tight, tight. Exhale, release. Lower your hands to your sacrum, clasp them together, press your fists to the floor. Drop your shoulders as low as you can. Send your chest forward as far as you can. Huge breath in, pouring it all the way into your belly and lower pelvic region. Exhale, drop your chin to chest, release your neck. Press the hands towards the floor. Exhale, release. Bring your chin back to center, to neutral. Gaze to the left. Your hands are still reaching towards the floor, clasps behind you. Drop your chin towards your left shoulder, gently. Tiny bit goes a long way. Bringing your chin back to neutral. Bring it back to center. Press, gaze towards the right. And drop your chin gently towards the front of that right shoulder, enjoying whatever you feel here, not overdoing it. The neck is very tender. Takes tender, loving care, just like our whole body does, but the neck in particular. Holding your head on top of you all day long is a lot of work. Bringing your chin back to center, gazing forward, release your hands, shake it out. Huge breath in and out. Bring your hands together, palms together, thumbs together, palms to your sternum, and lift up onto your tippy toes, having a balance here. Reaching as high as you can, enjoying the wiggles and the wobbles, noticing them. One more big breath here. Exhale, lower down to your full foot and enjoy the soles of your feet for a moment, lifting up your toes, wiggling your toes and lowering them down. Ground into that left foot. You're going to raise your right knee to hip height, transferring your weight into that left foot. Even out your hips when you arrive here. Take your left hand and bring it to the right thigh, and you'll bring your right hand to the back of your upper right glute and pause here. Some of you may wish to turn a little bit farther to the right. You can bring your right shoulder back. You can gaze behind you. Some of you may have room to bring that right arm behind you, but don't do too much. Just notice where your steadiness is and ends and stay there. When you feel complete, turn back to center. Bring your hands to heart center. Press the thumbs into your sternum to reorganize and lower that foot, rolling out both ankles, taking your time, and we'll come back to center. Drop your hands for a moment. Shrug your shoulders all the way up to your ears as tight as you can. Drop your occiput into the shoulders, pressing, pressing, pressing. Exhale, release and enjoy. Palms will come to the front. We'll do that one more time. Scrunch the shoulders all the way up. Pinch your occiput in, tight, 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 tight. Huge breath in. Exhale, release, and allow yourself to enjoy and reorganize. Noting that that takes a bit of time. After a holiday week, it takes a bit of time to reorganize. Being kind and allowing it all to seep in, settle, maybe simmer like a delicious soup. When you're ready, bring your hands to heart center once again. Press the thumbs into your sternum. Fingers will reach towards the sky. Lift up the toes on the right foot. Lower them down. Bring your left knee to hip height. Pause there. Find your balance. Notice if you need to take good care of those right toes. They help us stand and balance. Bringing your right hand to your left thigh, outer left thigh, and your left hand to the top of the left glute hip. You can gaze to the left, taking your time here. Notice what room you've got. You can bring your left hand all the way behind you. It may be very different on this side. Allow it to be whatever it is. Does not have to be the same. And when you feel complete, come back to center. Bring those hands to heart center. Find your center. Find stillness. Lower the foot and roll it out in either direction. Doing whatever needs to be done. Roll your shoulders. And still standing, reorganize your feet, lifting up all 10 toes, lower them down. Reach your arms out like a T. Palms will face front. We're going to come into eagle arms here, wrapping left elbow under right. Palms will come to the wall and then together, or wherever they come together today. Inhale, lift your elbows up to shoulder height and pause here. Press the elbows into one another in the opposite direction, sending love and kindness to the tension between the scapula. A spot where we hold a lot, breathing and bathing it, allowing it to have its tender moment. Giving it permission to soften and feel however it feels. Perhaps appreciating it for all that it holds each day. And notice that when we don't fight with ourselves and we're not disappointed, it softens a little bit more easily. Lifting the elbows up an inch if that feels good to you. Lowering them down into your belly below your chest and drop your head and neck. Using your belly here, when you're standing doing eagle arms, you engage your core. You connect your feet to the floor. Take good care of yourself. Huge breath in and out. Raise your elbows up to shoulder height, untangle, stretch them wide, wide, wide. Palms into the sidewalls, pinch your scapula once again. Exhale, release, and we'll wrap in the opposite direction. Left under right, palms come together, thumbs together, whatever you've got on this side. Enjoying it. Press your elbows into opposite elbow. Shoulder, your elbows will be up at shoulder height. Lift them up a little higher if you have a little more room. Bathing whatever needs bathing. Huge breath in. If you wish to lower down into your belly and fold forward, enjoy that. Lifting your elbows back up to shoulder height. Untangle them. Lower them down. Shoulders come up to your ears. Drop your occiput. And exhale after a huge squeeze. Release. Palms come to the front. And just take a few minutes here. Not a few minutes, a few breaths. Perhaps release your neck. Wiggling your fingers light. Enjoying all the sensations. And when you feel complete, perhaps a wrist roll as well, coming to the top of your mat, feet will be hips width. Notice the soles of your feet, lift your toes up, spread them wide, root them down. Inhale, engage your belly and bring your arms out and up towards the sky. Palms come together, slight arch back, and we'll fold forward, forward fold. Pause here for a moment. Inhale for a half lift, back is flat. Exhale, forward fold. Once again, inhale for a half lift, back is flat. Exhale, forward fold. Palms will land on the earth and we'll step back to plank. If anyone wants to go straight to down dog, do that. Pause here, finding your center, noticing your strength. Press your palms into the earth, knuckles into the earth. Notice any shaking. 3 more breaths here. I'm going to be working on our arms a little bit because my grandson is very heavy and they need to be stronger. So we're going to do it with love in yoga. Shifting forward onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, untuck your feet, lowering down, using your arms, wrap your elbows in towards you, engage your belly, rolling down, chaturanga towards the earth. Lower your forehead towards the floor. Pause for a second. Weight is out of your hands. Inhale for low cobra. Weight out of your hands, gazing forward. Enjoy your back. Exhale, lower down. Curl your toes, press into your hands, lifting up to downward dog. And take a moment here to enjoy the dog. Lengthen your spine, reach your sit bones to the sky, taking good care of your wrists, arms, elbows. Notice what part of downward dog you most enjoy. And give yourself a moment to really enjoy it fully. No rush to be anywhere else. Left ball of the foot's going to engage into the earth, lifting your left toes, lowering them down. Engage your belly. Raise your right leg towards the sky, pressing the heel into the back wall. Open your hips, roll your ankle in both directions, and really enjoy it. Coming back to 3-legged dog, press your heel into the back wall. And you'll bring your right knee between your hands, coming into Anjaneyasana or low lunge on this side. Taking good care of that back knee. Wiggling your right toes far in front to take good care of the front knee. Always taking good care of your knees, your neck, your spine, all the things. They all need some tender, loving care, and we often don't attend to them at all. Hands light on your front thigh if they're on your thigh as you get comfortable. And when you're ready, reach your hands to the sky and send some spaciousness, softness into the front of that left hip. Perhaps even noticing if you turn your shoulders slightly in one way or the other, what happens. Do you want to slide that back knee a little farther back? Roll your wrists in either direction here. Lower your hands to the floor and inside of the right foot, walk the right foot to the outer edge of the mat. Roll your knee open, coming into lizard pose on this side. Some of you will come down to your elbows. Do the lizard that feels, again, the most wonderful to you. You can curl your back toe and lift up. Some of you may wish to bend the back knee and draw your heel towards your rear end. Your right hand can come to meet it if it can. Everybody's different. Bring your right foot back towards the center. Right hand's going to come on the outside of the right foot. Curl your back toe, coming up into a high lunge for a moment. Drop your left heel to the right. Cartwheel open to warrior two. Taking a moment here to find a stable, steady, and strong warrior two that feels amazing to you. Notice that front knee, make sure it's in line with your toes, make sure your knee is not in front of your ankle. And look at your width of your feet, perhaps heel to heel alignment or heel to arch alignment. Everybody's hips are slightly different. Do what feels best to you. Inhale and sink into that front knee. On the exhale. Another big inhale. And tip back into reverse warrior. Send the breath into the front right ribs. Left fingers are going to reach down the left leg. Fanning open the rib cage. Cartwheeling back to warrior two. Straight your front knee. Coming into Trikonasana, or triangle pose. The left hip's going to come all the way back, and your right hand's going to reach forward parallel to start. As far as you can reach forward. I like to envision it as like a little teapot. And then drop your hand towards the floor, the block. Don't sink into that shin or ankle. So wherever you need to be to have this comfortable triangle, do that. Taking some breaths here, notice your feet, notice your hips. That left shoulder is going to tuck back. Gazing up at the left hand, if you have room, you can roll your wrist. You can bring your left hand into the left hip crease if that feels good. And for those of you who wish, we're going to come into half moon. You'll come back upright, bend that front knee, and grab a block, a couch, a chair, whatever you've got to support yourself. And you'll bring your left hand can reach to the sky or to the hip. This is a tricky pose, so just do what works. Enjoy the wiggles and the wobbles. Try to bring your zen here. Noticing that we handle lots of tricky poses, spots in life, and we just do our best. Sometimes we fall. Reaching tall, one more breath. And when you're ready, come back to Trikonasana. Reorganize here. We'll lower the left hand to the floor. You can bring your block to the outside of your foot, hop that left foot a little wider, coming into pyramid pose. You can use your block here to hold your back flat. Pyramid pose, both toes jet line towards the front, both legs are straight, tacking your right hip back and your left hip forward. You should be aware of your hamstrings here. You can shift your weight forward and back. And if anyone would like to come into revolved triangle, you'll place your left hand on the inside of the right foot, right close to it, and reach your right arm up, coming into a twist here. Use your belly. Roll your wrist. Coming back to center for another delightful moment of pyramid. Find that spot where you can breathe. Letting it in. And we'll hop the back foot forward to meet the front foot. Widen your feet. Sink your hips down and back. We're going to come into a yogi squat here. Some of you will have your feet heels on the earth. Some of you won't. Elbows to the knees, widening them. Lower your heels where they go. And enjoy a couple of breaths here. Finding your root, your center. Closing your eyes if you can. If you need to sit on a block, you can also do that here. Letting your heart slow here already. Lower your hands to the earth, bringing your feet back together, hips towards the sky, release in a forward fold. Drop your head and neck, shaking it out, releasing. You'll walk your hands forward a little bit, bend your knees, coming down to your knees. You're going to bring the tops of your shins on the floor, untuck your toes, and sitting up onto your knees for a moment. Bring your hands to the tops of your hips. And we're going to come in just to a modified camel. You bring your elbows back towards one another. Chest is going to fold forward. And some of you will have a little room to tuck your head back. Keeping it just easeful here. Heart shining forward, breathe. And you'll lower your heels, your rear end towards your heels. Sweep your feet around, bringing your rear end to the floor. And we're going to come to lie down in whatever graceful way you can do that. Sometimes the transitions are graceful and sometimes they're not. Letting yourself arrive on the earth with your knees bent. Taking a minute to see what you need. A good metaphor for life. Always take a moment to see what you need. What's going to make it work best for you? Notice your heart, your chest, letting them soften. Notice what feels good here. As you lie here and allow it to feel good, it's a bit like allowing all the other things. This part's a little easier than allowing all the things in life that aren't the way we think they should be. Bring your knees into your chest and give them a squeezy hug again. Massage the lower back. Lower your feet to the earth. Bring your right ankle to your left knee. Thread your hands through to the back of the left thigh and pick up that left foot. If you have room, we're going to come onto figure 4. Remembering to flex your ankles to take good care of your knees. Right elbow is going to come into the right knee. You can hug the hands around the shin if you would like. And breathe. Huge breaths. Roll your ankles in both directions if you have any room. Release your hands from the left thigh. Lower your left foot to the floor. Reach your arms above you in the easy cactus shape and drop your right foot to the left. You're going to twist to the left in a figure 4 twist. And enjoy what happens here for you. If you want to gaze to the right, you can. Gazing back to center, you'll bring your knees back to center, uncross them and switch sides. Left ankle over right knee, thread your hands through, coming into figure 4 here. Enjoy that left hip. You can grasp your shin wherever, whatever room you have. Some of you might wish to bring your forehead towards your legs. Notice what feels good here. And again, let it feel good. Experiment. I always think there's a right way, but rocking might feel good. Rolling your ankles might feel good. Giving yourself a choice. Releasing your hands, lower the right foot to the floor. Arms once again come into a cactus or a T. Notice what feels good. Drop the left sole of your foot to the floor. Twist to the right and enjoy your hips, waist, whatever comes to light here. Your gaze is turned to the left. Bring it back to center. Excuse me. Bring your knees back to center. Uncross them. Bring your hands back by your waist. Bring your heels towards your rear end and a quick lift up into a bridge to release the back and shoulders. Hips reach high, 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 as high as you can. And when you feel complete, untuck and rolling down. When you land on the earth. Untuck shoulders, anything that's kinked, and we're going to come into Shavasana from here. Final resting pose. Choose the Shavasana that works for you. If you need to get socks or a blanket, do that. Or just settle in for a minimalist one. Letting your feet fall towards the outer edges of the mat. Palms will open towards the sky about 6 inches from your waist. Or if that doesn't feel right today, you may want to bring hands to belly or one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Take a minute to find the pose that feels the best to you in this moment or feels right. And allow yourself to settle in, to relax into that one. We'll be here a few minutes integrating, letting the practice integrate, letting the week behind us integrate, the highs, the lows, the happies, the sads, the celebrations, the excitement, the disappointments, the frustrations, all of it being human. Yoga practice is about being human. Holidays and families and love are about being human. Letting all of those moments and all of the sensations and feelings swirl around, settle, land, allowing them, surrendering to them, and even letting yourself enjoy it all. you wish to stay longer in Shavasana, please feel free. The Sunday after a holiday week often feels like a full-on Shavasana day. Recovery, restoring, integration, and restoration day. You're ready to come out. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Taking your time. Choosing to transition well. Gently wiggle fingers and toes. And with the most kindness, grace, and compassion for yourself, stretch in some way that feels very loving and kind. Maybe it's a deep breath. And when you feel ready, coming up to a seat in whatever way today feels most kind and loving to yourself. What's the most caring way to move and come back to seated? When you arrive, find your ischial spines and connect them into the earth. You'll be cross-legged if that works for you. Tilt the pelvic bowl and stack your vertebrae one atop the other, reaching towards the crown of the sky. Pouring the breath in and out, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we'll bring a hand to heart and another hand to top. Wishing ourselves and all our fellow humans well. Sending out grace, compassion, and kindness for the rawness and the humanness and the vulnerability and the love. All of those being parts of being human. May you all have a beautiful week ahead, filled with peace, calm, love, joy, and whatever other emotions arise on this journey of being very, very human. The light in me honors and reflects the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.